first time in Lebanon, so bonjour à tous. Combien d'entre vous parlent français? Tout le monde? Okay. Il faudrait que je le fasse en français. I'm going to speak in English, I guess, but just to be cool with those who don't speak French. Anyway, so I'm Loic. Paul has way over. I'm sorry, I'm a little jet lagged, so it's going to come together soon. First time in Beirut. It looks great. I've been here for an hour, but I'm here until Sunday night, so I'm looking forward to it. And I love the food, which I already know from Paris. Anyway, so I just wanted to I wanted to share with you a few learnings, and there is one that I just posted on my social networks. You can find them. I'm just at Loic. And one is the open startup. So I was thinking I was in the plane and I wrote this. So I never talked about this anywhere yet. But I was in the plane. I was like, okay, what can I share in Beirut that is a learning from like many years? And I looked and I thought, okay, so there are the last three things I've done. One being a startup called Seismic. Another one is the conference LeWeb. And there is one I'm building right now called Leaders that I'm just starting. And they have one thing in common, is what I call the open startup. And so that's why I wrote, and you'll find it on my, if you want the text. But so what I've learned is that building in the open is way more efficient than being private. And most people will want to be very private, will want to be stealth, are afraid of their startup ideas to be stolen, and will just be very, very secret about it. And I do the exact opposite. And so I'm an angel, as Paul said. I invest in about 50 startups. And when someone shows up to me and asks me to sign an NDA, I just cut the conversation. I archive the email because I think it's the total wrong approach. I think there is actually someone who wrote a very fun blog post a few days ago, which is no one will steal your shitty idea. No one. Because it's shit. It's really bad. It's, any idea is pretty bad. It's all about how you build it and what you make with it and how you evolve it. So the idea does not matter at all. Like just if I had like 10 or 15 ideas to start something in the last 12 months, I could share with you guys because it doesn't matter. It's really what you do with it. And so I would encourage you to do it in the open. I'm not saying it's the best because, for example, Apple has had quite a bit of success without sharing anything with anyone. And you could also argue that the iPhone has redefined the industry entirely, and we would, if Steve Jobs had not started this, we would probably still be on Nokia phones and crappy UIs. So that was all in secret. The people did not ask for that. But I think that even though it works, it's much better to do it in the open. So if I look at the different startups, in my case, it started with my blog. In 2003, I met the head of the MIT Media Lab now. His name is Joe Ito, very good friend of mine. And we were together seated in a conference like this, and he was blogging in 2003. And I started seeing the comments, from everywhere in the world, and I didn't know what it was. And an hour after, I was starting my blog. And that's how I started sharing. And that's how I got so many benefits, which I try to list here. If I think about now LeWeb, the conference, because so Samer asked me to share that a little, and how it became 4,000 people in 85 countries. It started with a gathering of bloggers. And we forgot the coffee, and very little worked. We got a room free at the French Senate that let us use it. They showed up in the middle of a conference saying, wait, this is in English, you can't do English. Here, you're at the French Senate, you have to have a French translation. You have to have French. And I said, well, sorry. So we had no French. So first ever, the web was all in English. And we had, the participants was on a wiki at the time, so all transparent. My point is open. We put everybody there. If you think about a lot of conferences, They protect who's coming because they don't want to know. They don't want you to know. They think you're going to steal their participants. It's all about, again, open versus closed. We put everything out there, and it kept growing and growing. If I think about another startup I did called Seismic, it was a daily video. I like playing a lot, so I was doing a stupid daily video every single day where I would tell everyone what we were doing. That's a little overkill. I don't do this anymore. But it brought a lot of things. One thing it brought is an investor. Pierre Omidyar, the founder of eBay, was actually watching some of those videos, and you never know. And he posted a tweet, at Loic, I would love to invest. That's it. A few days after, he invested $3 million in my company. And that's all started by sharing. So my point here, I hope I tried to make it clear, is if you share the idea, how you do it, you share your fears, you try to be honest, no marketing, no, really you. Like if you would tell your best friend, here's what I'm doing, and don't lie, I know you're scared, I'm scared too. It's my 7th startup, and I'm still scared because we fail. And it's fine. It's totally OK. Success is a collection of failures. We fail all the time. I could talk for 2 hours on how many things I failed. And it's OK. Sometimes it works too. And so sharing is very important. So obviously, use social networks. I know it looks ridiculous, but so 13 years after I started my personal blog, now I have a newsletter that I just started. And I'm starting a new startup by sharing every week an email with everybody where I'm trying to think as I'm writing to my best friend what I'm doing, my fears, everything. I started this 10 days ago, and I have more than 5,000 people that join it, so it's pressure. And so it makes me accountable. So I don't need a board. I don't need an advisory board. I don't need an investor. I have 5,000 people who want to hear about it and want me to launch it. And so benefit number one, I would say, is makes you accountable. You don't need to report to anyone. You have a community that wants it. Then another benefit is your team sees it. So I have one engineer right now. I'm bootstrapping. I'm financing it myself, and we're 2 people plus a part-time designer. And he has so much pressure because he knows, and he sees a lot of emails. So benefit number 3, I'm doing it without reading my phone, but so not in the same order, but is the feedback you get. I got 200 emails from my last email back from people sending me ideas. I got 3 investors in there who want to invest even though I'm not raising. I got people telling me about possible competition. It's unbelievable the ideas you get by just sharing. So you can gather feedback. You can. I'm just trying to. Yeah. So it motivates your team, as I said, and you get candidates too. Just trying to explain why it's good. So I got about 20 people who want to work in leaders. Of course, I'm not hiring anyone because I'm still trying to figure out what it is exactly. But that's very interesting, too, for hiring. Investors, I said, we already had a story in the press, which I was not seeking for. So you get press, you get bloggers, you get things that starts to happen. And I'd say customers. LeWeb became a multi-million-dollar in revenue business, which is very small, but it's still very significant for something that started with 200 people. And the customers were already in the room. So we never did any significant marketing with LeWeb. If you already have this initial community of people who are interested in what you're doing, then you don't need marketing, because they are the ones who will do the word of mouth and will just expand what you're doing. Of course, it doesn't work at scale, but there are huge successes that started with just word of mouth. Like, I don't know any ads for Spotify, for example, or SoundCloud. I was just in Sweden, so I have a Swedish startup creators coming to mind. But I hope on Sunday I'll have all the Lebanese ones coming to mind, which I'm sure I will. So build in the open. Build as much as you can in the open. Share your idea. It's okay. No one will steal it. If there is competition, great. You will know about it. You will benchmark. You will change your idea. I changed my idea 3 times, leaders, for what I'm working on right now. 3 times already, because people told me about this, you know, and it's fascinating. I would say don't be afraid, of course, of failure. It's totally okay. I can talk to you about my failures. And don't be afraid about sharing the idea, because the best people in the world don't work for you right now. The best people who can help you get a deal, an investor, anything, do not talk to you right now. You don't know about them, they don't know about you. If you start sharing, they will. And I think Paul wants to do some questions, but I'll just keep going because Paul is busy. Paul! I'm done.
Wow. It was not listening at the end. I'm so sorry.
No,
excuse me.
No worries, no worries.
Yeah,
Should I interview you?
You want to interview me?
No,
don't interview. I love Lebanon. It's been like, what, 20 times I'm coming here, so I just adore Lebanon. So that's why I invited you to come here.
Thank you.
So, you just talked about, first of all, I'll allow a question, of course, from the floor if you have any. So please already raise your hands. There'll be...
do you have any questions?
Well, yes, well, we
Here
can
you
start
go. There's a question right here.
So can you bring a microphone to the gentleman over here? And I'll just ask one question while she does that. Open startup now, you're figuring out what leaders is actually, is that much very different from what you did when you created your first startup? Is the process completely different? I mean, now you're more well-known, etc. But
when I started my first startup, I had some hair. And there was no social networks. So it was very difficult to be open. Yes, it's very very different.
Even with Sysmic, which was at the very beginning of the social network,
social
media.
Yeah. No, that was open. I was doing daily videos.
Daily videos, yeah, at first, yeah.
Yeah, but LeWeb, I didn't mention that, but we had a big crisis because I don't know what happens in my mind sometimes, but I'm a little, you know, I don't know. I like doing a little crazy things, and I was doing, I think, LeWeb number 3, and there was the French presidential campaign. And we had all these like 60 countries. And I was like, oh, how cool would it be if we invited the French candidate to the presidency? And I invited Ségolène Royal, Sarkozy, and Bayrou. I didn't invite the extremes. I don't like the extremes, left or right. And now I live in the US. I apologize for Trump, even though I'm French. But anyway, and 2 showed up. So Bayrou and Sarkozy. Of course, everybody forgot Bayrou, but Sarkozy was there. And there was a huge controversy. It almost killed the conference, it still killed my reputation somehow. But I apologized. I wrote a blog post which is like 10 pages long, where I took every single piece of criticism. That was the main one, of course. But then there was food and Wi-Fi and like everything. And I was like, sorry. And in return, and the web like tripled in size just after that. I think it would have been dead if I didn't do that.
You haven't done it. Sir, go ahead.
Hi. My name is Ali. I'm a Lebanese entrepreneur based out of Istanbul. So I'm kind of the bridge here between the 2 regions. I have a question and one advice for you. The first question is about leaders. Like you talked about open startups, and can you tell us more about it? Let's have the whole room brainstorming with you about how we can help you do that.
Oh, that's so nice of you. Thank you.
And the second one, I know you like paragliding. You should definitely try paragliding in Junior. So you should do that.
I almost took it. Thank you for following all the crap I post every day. But let's start with the easy one, the paragliding. I'd love to try paragliding here. They don't shoot you if you fly in some places, no? I bet there are some restricted areas, not too far, right? Okay, well, anyway. I love it. If you have not tried, it's just amazing. I don't know why I waited for so long. It fits in a bag like this, like a backpack, and then you just fly like a bird. No fuel, nothing. Amazing. Anyway, and it's not dangerous at all. Don't believe what you read about it. Leaders, what I'm trying to do is so here's my process. It's been now a few years that I've been wanting to start something, and I have not, just because, I was still busy with LeWeb, and I also, invested in a lot of startups, like once a month, one startup per month. And I don't know, I did paragliding and kite surfing. There's a lot of things you can do that is not, you know. And so, and I killed all the ideas I had. I have a blog post about this too, is the problem is you always have someone who tells you this is a bad idea. Always. And even if you've done 6 before, it doesn't matter. There's always a good friend who tells you this is. And then, by the way, if you've done 6 before, you have someone else telling you, oh, this is too small for you. Like, yeah, that I had never had. Like, no, you can't do this, it's way too small.
You told me, yeah.
And that's another form of pressure, especially in Silicon Valley, where everybody needs to be a unicorn now. Like, if you don't build $1 billion company, you suck. Like, you really, really suck. If it's only a few tens of millions or a few 100 million, like, don't even start it.
Yeah, don't bother.
Yeah, just go paragliding. So that's what I did. But it's another form of pressure, which is interesting. So I decided I would completely remove myself from all that pressure and think about what I really like myself. And build bootstrapped, funding it myself, and not raise funds, for now, at least. And so I don't have any of that pressure. And when I meet investors or friends in San Francisco, I tell them, look, here's what I'm doing. This is not ambitious. Not ambitious. It's very small. It's just a test. You know, I talked for 10 minutes on how it's not even relevant. Anyway, now I tell you what it is. So my passion is to discover new people. I try to understand what I've been doing for 10 years. And with LeWeb and a lot of angel investing, what I do is I try to discover new people and then either feature them on stage, like you're doing with me today, or invest in them or help them. And so if you look at what happened at LeWeb, Travis Kalanick and Garrett Camp decided to launch Uber because they were stuck exactly in this situation, except it was snowing.
So I remember that. Well, yeah.
Everybody does. And they were stuck. They could not find a cab in Paris. And they were like, oh, how about, you know, we use an iPhone app and we see the car coming and Uber was born and it's worth $60 billion and I did not invest. But it's okay. I knew I was. And that's amazing. Then you know, there is so many stories like this. Anyway, so what I'm trying to do is to have a site and an app, of course, where you go and you can say, this person is absolutely amazing. Here is what he does right now. And so I give you an example: a new book, a new website, a new blog post, maybe a new talk, a TED talk that you find amazing. You go and you post it, and then people vote, crowdsourcing, open, to say here are the best people of the day. Like basically what I do, but in a crowdsourced way. So if you think about TED, the way they feature all those people on stage is they have a team, I think 50 curators, who just like screen. I would like to have 1,000 curators, 10,000 curators. I would like to know who are the coolest entrepreneurs in Beirut. I don't know that. You probably can help. You don't know? And I would like to know who are the top, let's say you want to do a conference on Bitcoin. You type Bitcoin, it will say, here are the top 20 entrepreneurs doing things like right now, the top 20 VCs, the top book authors, and then select all and you do something with them. You know, so if you know, do you know Product Hunt? Okay, so it's Product Hunt for people. Yeah. I try not to say that because it makes me look like a douche, but it's kind of what I'm doing. I actually talked to the 2 founders and they love it, and they're helping me, Ryan and Eric. So that's what I'm building right now. I hope it makes sense.
There you go. You announced it on stage.
Yeah, I've never said that, but anyway. It's okay.
See?
It's fine.
Guys, you got open startup.
No, my dream is that we have a place where we go, and frankly, I don't even care about the business model of a business or if it's even a business. I want a place where I go and I can find the best people on the planet, which is not bullshit. Not like the top 30, Forbes under 30, where it's like PR, hi Forbes, oh yeah, cool. Where it's like PR agencies, you know, trying to push their customers. I want to find another way to discover amazing people, the next generation. So we'll see. It's fun.
It's fun. It is absolutely fun. I have time for one more question. If anyone wants to ask a question, you can raise your hand. Did I see a hand or not? No, that was not. One, two.
Yes, here. If I have no questions, it means I'm boring and disappointed. You can ask in French, no problem.
My French is lousy, so
Yeah?
better English.
Well, it's better than my Lebanese. Huh? You don't say that, do you? No.
I just wanted to ask how it's going to work. Are you going to use an algorithm in order to establish, do a ranking of these people or the people who are investing or whatever? How are you going to do the matching?
I don't know.
Okay,
I have no
fair
idea.
enough.
I had someone comment, like, I hope you don't do one more of those crappy lists. And no, I really don't want to. But if you look at Product Hunt, it's people voting. It's democratic. You know, it's just people deciding who should be there.
Yeah, you know, the funny thing is that just before you started your pitch, your presentation, I was thinking of something similar. It just popped up in my mind, no? But slightly different. I would like to talk to you about, because it's weird, no? Like ideas get connected. I mean, you never know.
It's just that I think we focus a lot on the products and not enough on people. And what I've done with LeWeb for 10 years is to focus on people. When I have them on stage, I want to know what they do, who they are, and the product is kind of secondary. And I think there is not enough focus on people, who they are and what they do.
Yeah, but this reinforces what you were saying about not being protected of the idea, no? Because the same idea, you think you are having that idea, you need to protect it. In reality, many other people maybe simultaneously have the same idea, no, somewhere in the world. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other question? No, we don't have time.
Yeah, I mean, I can allow one more, obviously, if someone wants to ask. Are you going to be around a little bit as well?
Come on. No?
Are you selling it?
In French.
En français.
Une question en français.
Question en français. Mesdames et messieurs, une question en français. Ah. My God. Non, tu vois. Hein?
Voilà.
Peut-être qu'elle va être en français.
Are you streaming this live?
Samer, is it streamed live?
Is it live or not? No?
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Français, anglais.
En français?
Ok, je préfère anglais.
I can do that.
Just because of what I want to talk about, I'd like to ask you a question about, from your point of view, what do you see being the future of everything completely open, mainly the future of the economies, everything based on the blockchain technologies and currencies, from your own point of view, and what you see for the next 10 to 20 years?
So the first, the next 20 years?
In the
crystal
near
ball?
future.
No, it's tough. I don't know. So the first part, I think everything is becoming open. There are very, very little secrets that will remain secrets. So for example, the chair you're sitting on, at least on the first, if I'm not mistaken, that's a stock chair. And this, at one point, will fall into the public domain. And you know the sites that start referencing 3D objects, so just how you make it and the design, and you'll just print one, free. It's going to be free because Stark will have lost his rights on it. So I think it's going to be fascinating. If you think about knowledge, I grew up. I know I sound like an old chap, but I grew up with encyclopedia volumes in paper, right? And look how it became free. And it's Wikipedia and others, but it's amazing. So I think it's a tremendous opportunity for everybody to just build on free, and it will be incredible. I think we only started this. Now, Bitcoin, I don't believe in it.
Why?
Because I think the governments will not let it happen.
The governments?
Yeah, I think it's. I mean, it might be personal choice. It's a good choice because I had a friend, I was about to buy some and it was $900 each. So it was a good thing I didn't. That's probably why I don't believe in it, because since then it's coming back up. But I don't see it. It's like, so let me tell you an ideal I have, which I feel as a citizen of the world. And I post a lot about this and I also get some criticism, but we're all human beings, right? And so if you look at the globe from space, there are no borders. You don't see the languages and the cultures. And I think what's happening not far from here is just a disaster. And what Trump is saying is just shameful. But anyway, what I'm saying here is that the borders should matter much less. We should just be one, like, you know, one people. Why not have like a president of a world? Like, look at we tried in Europe, it failed miserably. There is no Europe, honestly. I don't think there is Europe. Here's my point. How do you want to have one currency where we cannot even make one with the euro in Europe, and it fails? So I don't think they will let that happen. End of money? No more money. Ah, well, you still to buy and sell. That's an interesting one. But I'm not super like hot on. I think I see Bitcoin as Napster. You had Napster, and then you had iTunes and Spotify, and you know, and Bitcoin is Napster. It's the one that they want to kill.
What about the blockchain technology for software and the future of apps, aside from currencies and Bitcoin?
I honestly, I don't know. Honestly.
Okay. Well, thank you.
No, but thank you for the question. Are we?
Yes, I have to
You want
welcome
to kick me?
Leila,
Okay.
actually. I'm not going to kick you. The stage
right.
is yours.
Okay,
For once,
well,
I'm the one actually kicking
Yeah.
you
All
off
right. So
stage.
thank you. And before I go, thank you, Samer and Banque du Liban, for inviting me. And I'm here until Sunday night. I hope I meet as many of you as I can.
And you want very good food.
No, I love Lebanese food. You have no idea.
Exactly.
Like
So,
when I'm in Paris, that's the first place I go is the Lebanese restaurant.
yeah, you're right where you
I'm
should
right
be
there.
now.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.